Secret number 5, 5 tonalities in successful sales. This is another important, powerful topic that I want to share with you. It's about not just one tonality, it's about 5 different tonalities. So I wanted to credit Jordan Belfort for this work. It's fascinating. It's something that influenced me a lot in my own work. We applied it and it was very successful, and I want to share that with you. As if you want to learn more about Jordan Belfort and how he's a fascinating guy, I mean, he's too much of an influencer, and he's known as the wolf of the Wall Street. And it's a good idea to study not his values, study his techniques. So it's good to know the techniques. You can learn from anybody as long as they are creating value, right? As long as the system is working, but you could use it for good purposes. Apparently he used for not very good purpose, but you could still use the tool for serving people in a better way. Makes sense? So I'm not asking you to model Jordan Belfort. I'm asking you, Google who it is, and then you could find more details about it. But that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is to model the ideas that he shared to influence people while creating so much more value to people. Is that clear? Yeah. Make sure that is clear, right? Because if you don't create value, you're losing the game of life. Don't lose the game of life by not adding enough value, not creating enough value, because you're wasting your time and energy in this like precious thing for life, thing called life, right? So don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy doing things short term. Always think long term and create something valuable that is long term. And then when you do, then your business is going to move to the next level. Your life is going to move to the next level, and you will be able to claim your highest destiny. So what is the psychology and neurology for this? On phone sales, tonality is everything. Phone sales, tonality is everything. And even in person, tonality is a huge deal. There is a tonality chain of action that could happen at the back end. And I'm going to teach you a few things. You don't need to learn all of it. Just learn one thing. Take up one thing from the entire thing that I'm sharing today, and that itself will take you to the next level. You pick what it is when I start sharing the specifics of it. So what's the strategy? Mastering sales is mastering tones. Say that with me. Mastering sales is mastering tones. Put that in the chat, actually. Mastering sales is mastering tones. If you're committed to growing your business, I would like you to put that in the chat right now, right? If you're listening to this in a video somewhere, put that in the chat, that mastering sales is mastering tones. Or you could write something like, not right typing is irresponsible. I'm kidding. I'm just messing with you. Okay, so mastering sales is mastering tones. So what does that mean? Let me talk about the tactics. Specifically, there are 5 different tones in sales conversation. What are the 5 different tones? One tone is enthusiasm. Like when you're talking to somebody, you'll be like, okay, I'm really excited about sharing this with you. We got in this call today because you want to explore and grow your business to the next level. In order to grow your business to the next level, there are 3 steps that are involved. You need to master sales and marketing, and they need to learn. Then you need to learn how to scale your business to the next level so that you can move your business to the next level. And we'll talk about all that in the next 45 minutes. But how does that sound? Do you see that? It's excited, and you're talking fast too. That's excitement. And some people are like cold fish. They don't have no energy, no feeling, nothing. They just show up. So that's why you need to go with a high level of excitement in the beginning. Again, remember, beginning, right? In long time ago, if you were to go read Dale Carnegie about sales and persuasion, there might be some ideas about, oh, you just need to be enthusiastic all the time. It's not going to work anymore. It's not going to work anymore because enthusiasm is not going to cut it for the whole sales conversation. But for the beginning of the conversation, beginning of the sales conversation, enthusiastic, show up, excited, and with high tone, high energy, show up. So that is one tonality, right? So your action could be very simple. You could be like, I want to start my sales conversation with enthusiasm. I'll start my conversation with enthusiasm. That's it, nothing else. And that will be good. Second one is sincerity. How could you talk with sincerity? When you're talking to somebody, you could talk with a lot of sincerity. And when somebody shares their problems, you could listen to them and make them feel that you understand it. And you could have like some arbitrary conversation, like something meaningless, something mundane, something like, oh, there was sunrise today. And there was a sunrise today. It's still sincere. You're feeling sincerity, aren't you? Right? Okay, so there was rain today. The weather was too cold today. It's still sincere, right? And you feel the sincerity. And if you feel the sincerity, put that in the chat. I feel the sincerity. If you're not feeling the sincerity, what's wrong with you? Okay. So that's sincerity. So when you are able to be sincere with another person, that's a different tonality altogether. And this is not an acting class. This is for you to be authentically sincere to people. When you're authentically sincere to people, what happens is they are sincere with you. You build loyalty. Remember, I told you about trust. If you don't know about trust in sales, go back and watch the video in this playlist or wherever you are watching, go find it out. So you need to learn how to be sincere with people. You need to learn how to be sincere with people. And once you're sincere with people, people will be sincere back to you. Makes sense? That's the tone of sincerity. That's how you do sincerity. And you need to do it with sincerity. Not like, I'll do the tone thing, but I'm not a sincere person. I don't know how to be sincere. That's not the idea. The idea is you need to get to that place of sincerity. Become a human who's sincere. Become a human that is enthusiastic. This is what Martin Luther King was. Okay. And I'm not underestimating a black civil rights movement, like the legend of the world as a salesperson. That I'm actually glorifying him as a persuader, because he was a persuader. He was one of the greatest persuaders of all time. Gandhi, my brother, Gandhi was a persuader, like from India, right? He persuaded without even having any, without having any weapons or anything, because he was eating so much, very little food, he couldn't even hold a gun. So he thought, let's do it with ahimsa, with non-violence. So he was able to persuade the greatest power of the century at the time, greatest power of several centuries, the greatest empire of all the time until then. And we basically, they had to kneel in front of him and say, why we have to leave. Why? Because he was able to have that certainty, that authentic level of the attributes that I'm talking about here. So this is not a gimmicking world, right? Of course, there are some scammers and gimmickers who will probably watch this video and use it for that, and they are the one who's losing. So you are the one who's losing if you're doing that. Think long term. It's not about short-term gain. It's about long-term massive gain. It's about compound interest. It's about compound success. Think about compound success in terms of compound interest. Einstein said one of the magical things, one of the 8 wonders of the world is compound interest. That money will be able to accumulate in a way that's unimaginable. Warren Buffett also same thing. It's fascinating, the power of compound interest. What if you could have compound success rather than trying to get some money, put some money and you got $2 as interest and you're like, oh, I take the $2 and that's it for me. You're losing life. If you want to succeed big time in life, think long-term compound success. And if you're able to compound succeed, then your success after success after success, they compound on each other until you reach a place where you are phenomenally, exponentially successful. That's what we are talking about. That is how you talk with absolute certainty. Do you see the way I spoke right now? I didn't plan it, which is the third tonality, which is absolute certainty. And you could do it with that level of tone, or you could do it with this level of tone. When Martin Luther King is saying that I have a dream that I have a dream that white kids and black kids sit at the same table and eat lunch together. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But do you see that? It's certainty. It's a certainty that people are responding to, which is a third tonality in sales too, right? Being able to, so when you are selling, when you're influencing a group of people, what you're doing is you're bringing that certainty, transferring that emotion to them, which is a third tone. Talk with absolute certainty and open your mouth and talk through your mouth a little bit too. Like the sound has to come from my mouth. If I talk like this, the certainty is not going to come. If I talk like this, then it's too it's scary, right? So you talk like this, all of a sudden there is certainty. People are going to feel your certainty. And that tonality is really important in sales. The fourth one is matching tonality. Matching tonality is whatever tone that they are talking, you match with that. So if they're talking like really fast, if they're talking at like high pitch, you match that. If you're talking on high tone, you match that. Whatever tone that they are doing, you match that. That's matching tonality. That's easy enough. The fifth one is implied obviousness. Implied obviousness is very simple, but it's very powerful, which is the last one. Let's hang in there. And I know there are so many information here, and you could rewatch this video if you like, but implied obviousness is something like this. Okay, so based on what you told me, I think the next step is for you to decide to scale your business to $10 million. And in order to scale your business to the next $10 million, first of all, we need to have a scaling strategy, and you need to have a strategist to help you work that. Our strategist can help you scale your business to $10 million. And as we're doing this scaling to $10 million, you'll get personal coaching from some of our mindset coaches will help you, guide you to be mentally prepared for that too. Do you have any questions? Do you see that? Like, I'll show you a different example. This is like implied obviousness. I could say the same thing in a different way. Like, okay, based on what you told me, the next step is, I'm very enthusiastic about this. Obviously, you could see that, and do this thing and that thing. All of a sudden, it's like, I cannot trust this guy. But if you say this, based on what you told me, your next step is, it's very close to sincerity, right? Based on what you told me, your next step is to do this thing. And how do you want to pay for it? You want to pay Visa or MasterCard? How do you want to pay for it? Do you see that implied obviousness? I'm implying, obviously, you are buying. Implying, obviously, you are buying. That's implied obviousness. Implied, obviously, that you're buying. So how do you want to pay for it? Wednesday? I mean, how do you want to pay for it? Visa or MasterCard? How about, do you want like 20 boxes delivered right now, or 15 boxes? Like, I know you're short of material. So do you want 20 boxes or 15 boxes right now? Okay, do you see that? That's implied obviousness. So we said 5 tonalities. Okay, amazing job hanging in there and staying until this point. So what are the 5 tonalities? Put that in the chat. Enthusiasm, number 1, right? Number 2 is sincerity. Put that in the chat. 3, absolute certainty, which is number third one, absolute certainty, feeling certainty and feeling the power. This is where the greatest speakers of all time, that they speak, they bring in that tonality with the power, and like you feel like, oh my gosh, I feel so excited, and then you vote for them, right? And that's how politicians are influencing people. Great speakers influence people like that, right? With absolute certainty. And they would sometimes change to a sincere tone too, which is sincerity. And you feel them that they are sincere, even though they are not sincere. Sometimes they know really good how to pretend sincere, and they will cry, and they will tell you sometimes about a child that didn't have any legs, and all of a sudden, because that person became a senator, the child had 2 legs. Miraculously, magically appeared, and they saw a grandma in Ohio, and this is what happened. And the grandma came and hugged, and you said, I want you to be the president of this country. And they will cry, they'll have teardrops. This is sincerity. Okay, sometimes people fake it, but don't do it. That's short term. Okay, don't do it. It's short term. But I'm just giving you an example so you understand what is going on. And then so enthusiasm, you already know. Sincerity, you already know. Absolute certainty, you already know. Matching tonality is in a conversation, not in a speech. When you're in a sales conversation, you're matching with the person. You're matching with the person enough that the person feels totally connected to you. Implied obviousness is implied obviousness. It's, hey, how do you want to pay for it? Visa or MasterCard? All of a sudden, Visa, because it's an implied obviousness. How do you want to pay for it? Visa or MasterCard? All of a sudden, they're like, what is going on with this guy? I don't want to deal with this guy anymore, right? So we don't want that. That's what. And enthusiast, how do you want to pay for it? Visa or MasterCard? All of a sudden, they're like, oh my gosh, this guy is too enthusiastic. I want to think about it. There's something suspicious about it, right? So that's why the implied obviousness. Okay, amazing job. Coming up next, secret number 6. Undisturbed prospects don't buy. People who are not undisturbed, people who are not disturbed, they don't buy, right? If you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to inspire them to buy, they don't buy, because they need to have a problem to solve. You're dealing with a human mind. A human mind is triggered by pain so much more, almost 2 times more than pleasure. So if you don't understand how to influence them, create more pain about what is going on, they are not willing to change. So you are cheating them and you out of the next level of joy that you could have for them solving the problem, for you having more cash and more wealth and growing your business, your ideas, your thinking to the next level. I'll see you tomorrow with secret number 6. But before that, take action. What is action? Practice at least 1 tone for 1 minute. Take this one tone. If you're an overachiever, practice all the 5 tones. I know there are people from several countries listening to this videos. So if you are from somewhere, you are an absolutely committed person, practice all these 5 tones. Do go from enthusiasm to sincerity to absolute certainty to matching with their tone, and then implied obviousness like Visa or MasterCard. Right. So at that point, you master 5 tonalities, and then we'll talk more about how to use this in different occasions. But understand that enthusiasm in the beginning, implied obviousness at the end, that will take you a far more than that will get you more closing than ever if you actually practice doing that. So practice at least 1 tone. If you're an overachiever, practice 5 tones. Write that, put that in the chat. I will practice my tone. Put that in the chat so that I know that you are going to do it. And if you are not going to do it, please do it, okay? For your own business, for your own growth, for you to claim your highest destiny. Think long term. It's not about, don't scam yourself, don't cheat yourself, don't steal yourself of the highest destiny that you could have in your life. I'll see you tomorrow. Undisturbed prospects don't